What's going on, fam? Welcome to The Movement, where we discuss all things dance, life, and this profound, powerful dance through life. Whether you're a dancer, a little klutzy, or just a lot of curious, this show is all levels friendly, baby. So lace up and let's go. You know that feeling you get when you want to dance and live life to the fullest, but you're paralyzed and you can't bring yourself to move. You can't bring yourself to dance and mingle freely. That feeling of, I must forewarn everyone that I have two left feet just to lower the expectations and decrease the chances of complete embarrassment. I know that feeling all too well because that is exactly who I used to be. Then through dance, I learned how to connect mind and body and to decrease that voice in my head that was so concerned about what others thought about me. I learned to increase the positive language as I spoke to myself and changed the course of my entire life dramatically. I want to help you overcome that same exact thing. Each week, I'll be holding a live class session where you will learn how to become the most confident version of yourself in dance and in life, while being able to ask any questions you have in a community of others just like yourself. Go down to hasdancecamp.co. That's hasdancecamp.co. I'll drop the link down in the description. I look forward to seeing you and building with you. Now let's get back to the show. What's going on? Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of The Movement. Y'all, I'm super ecstatic because there's very few things in my life that I've been this consistent with. And every Wednesday, stop playing with me. I'm on another level this year. And again, thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Melvin AC Howell. I am your host with the most. And today we are coming to you with a topic that is for a little bit of everybody. Yeah, so today's topic is actually on how do I become a better dancer? There are so many people that I work with, that I train, that they love dance. They want to dance more, but they don't know how to become a better dancer on their own. Like you have YouTube, aka YouTube University, shout out, because that's actually how I grew in my beginning stages, my freshman year of high school. And I actually was able to take quite a bit from that, but you can only grow but so much. And actually there aren't too many teachers on YouTube, especially in hip hop, that can help you grow. They either teach too quickly, they don't go in depth enough, and everybody learns in a different way. So somebody might be able to pick up choreography just from seeing it being performed. Somebody might need that choreography broken down to a molecular level because maybe that person doesn't have the same body awareness as the other person who was able to pick it up just from watching the choreography. So today what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to give you some major keys. Major key alert. I'm going to give you some major keys and some steps that you can take to become a better dancer. Now, this is especially aimed towards my beginner dancers, intermediate dancers, or dancers that can be advanced dancers that maybe you've hit like a creative block or you don't know how to get better with your freestyling, right? So today we are going to level you up. Know why? Because it's about to be fall season. You know what that means? It's time to level up before New Year's gets here. We got to level up now. So when that New Year's come in, we hit them New Year's parties, them New Year's Eve parties, throwing flips. Like we just going crazy right now. And y'all, I don't even wear shorts. And if you're listening on Spotify, I'm going to explain the whole situation. But I don't even wear shorts. I'm wearing shorts right now because I just came from training. And it's still like I thought it was finna be over because it got cold a couple days. It's still apparently mosquito season. I can't stand mosquitoes. But that's neither here nor there. Let's jump straight into it. So I got some people on Instagram live right now. So we're gonna get some questions coming in. So if you see me look over here to the left, I'm speaking with the live viewers right now. If you see me look over here to the left, I'm looking at my notes, so I make sure we get the talking points, and I'm gonna make sure I don't get killed by these acorns falling from these trees above my head. So y'all please please bear with me. So, how to become a better dancer. The most important thing that you want to know is don't try to excel too quickly. Now, we all want the results instantly, right? Whenever I started, I was seeing kids like 5, 6, 7, 9 years old when I was at the age of 14, even now, that I was like, dang, bruh. Like, first of all, they're smacking people in these dance battles and dance competitions. But on top of that, they're getting paid to travel the world because they are so freaking good at what they do. And I got a little envious about that because I was like, dang, bro, like I've been putting in hella work. Like I dance hours and hours and hours on end every single day. Like I don't take any days off. Why am I not where they're at? And of course, that's on like a larger scale because dance is my career, right? But maybe dance is not your career. You just love dance and you want to get better at dance. So maybe you just compare yourself to someone else who's dancing in the club and you're like, hey, they going in like they're so confident, they look good doing it. Or you see a dance video and you're like, dang, they're murdering it out there. And you want to get there too. This is the episode for you. So please stay tuned through to the end so we can get you there. I'm going to get you there. This is what I love doing. I'm a teacher at heart when it comes to dance, especially. So I'm going to make sure you get there. All right. Step one. All right. Before I go into step one more thing. Tailgating on the don't try to excel too fast. You must enjoy the process. When you're not enjoying the process, dancing becomes a task. When it becomes a task, you do it less. When you do it less, you stop growing. When you stop growing, you have doubts and insecurities. And then it's this continuous cycle of like, oh, I'm vamped up. I'm ramped up on motivation. And then it drops again. Like, dang, I'm not growing. The only reason see bugs flying on me. The only reason you're not growing is because you keep stopping. So I'm going to give you some practical steps that you can take that you can do every single day. It doesn't feel like a task. It's fun. It's simple. It's easy. It's going to help you get where you're trying to get. Yeah. So let's enjoy that process, starting with the foundations. Foundations are incredibly important. All the dancers that you see that you admire and you look up to and you aspire to be like or to be even greater than, because let's not put limits on ourselves, right? We can achieve anything we set our minds to. And dance is that tool that shows you can do anything you want to do. But it starts with the foundations. Think of it like this. Whenever you're building a house or a skyscraper is being built, if they don't start with the foundation, guess what's going to happen to that building? It's going to collapse every single time because it needs a cornerstone. It needs a strong foundation, a building block, before you get to the top of the Empire State Building. Yeah, so foundations. And these are foundations that are in hip hop, but they translate to every single dance style. Every single dance style. So you have bounce, you have rock, you have groove, you have flow, and you have rhythm. Okay? These are the 5 that I want you to focus on, and I'll come back with other episodes to make sure we get you even more foundations. But we're going to start with these because these are the primary ones I want you to just focus on. And again, you can apply these to everyday movements, yeah? Bounce, rock, groove, rhythm, and flow. Okay? Bouncing, you can compare this to jumping rope. And I like to break it down into 2 different types of bouncing, just because it's easier for the brain to synthesize and to recognize. All right? You have what I call the T bounce. T is the first letter of toe. So T bounce is also toe bounce. You could think of hopscotch. You can think of jumping rope. Anything where you're bouncing on your toes. Then you have K bounce. The K bounce, because K is the first letter of knee, it can also be translated as knee bounce. Okay? The knee bounce or the K bounce is anything bending or bouncing at the knees. Okay? You typically use the T bounce for quicker movements when you're looking at agility or when you want to move faster, travel quicker, move your legs and your feet faster. You're looking at T bounce. What it does is the bounce that you get from your calf muscles, shin muscles, all that good stuff. It makes you lighter on your feet. Okay? And if y'all hear extra stuff going on in the background, y'all, I'm on my front porch and it's hood adjacent, so it might get a little loud, but let's see if we can get through this without all the extra. All right. And then the K bounce is used for more grounded movements, more grounded bouncing. And a lot of times you'll see it on like the downbeat. Okay. So you have T bounce, which is makes you lighter on your feet. It's for agility, be able to move faster, travel faster. The K bounce or the knee bounce is for more grounded movements. They're typically slower, and they're more grounded. Okay, more power comes from those the K bounce. So there's the bounce separated into two different things, and because I don't want to confuse you, I'm not going to go into too much detail of these. I'm just going to go into enough detail to make sure that you hear me, you understand what I'm referring to. All right. Next we have rocking. All right. So rocking is anything hinging at the waist. So you can hinge from left to right. You can go front to back. You also have corners. You can go front corner, back corner, anything hinging at the waist. Now, a lot of the times whenever I'm teaching rocking, if it's somebody who's new, relatively new to dance, then what they'll do is instead of hinging at the waist, they contract their body, all right? And they bend their spine. We're not looking to bend our spine or our sides, anything like that. A lot of times the spine will stay relatively aligned. We're just hinging at the waist, okay? And then we use our feet, flat feet, or what have you, to ground us to be able to control the tempo better, okay? So rocking, anything hinging at the waist. All right, next we have groove. So groove is super important, especially if you have like family functions, or you like to go out to the bar, to the club, or you just like to dance, and you're not looking to like do anything like super hardcore, fantastic, like super hardcore, or anything super extra or overzealous or dramatic. You're just looking to like vibe out. Like you just want to feel the music and just stay in your pocket. That's what grooving is. Grooving is that feeling of the music that touches your soul and you just like vibing with the music. Okay, so there are like more high intensity grooves and there are lower intensity grooves, but it's really when you're in that pocket, you're just vibing, whether you're like rocking side to side or you're doing like a little two-step, you're sliding, okay, grooving. Then we have flow. Flow is when you're flowing from one move to the next. There's not really any edgy movements. Everything's just flowing. So you can flow faster. You can also flow slower. So there's really no, I'm going to say, time signature for flowing. You're just moving. Okay? Just letting that energy, that movement flow through the body from one move to the next. Now, the most important thing about flowing is that you take your time and you're controlling your movements and you're moving intentionally. Yeah, so don't just throw your body here, there, and everywhere. Take your time, understand the path of movement that you're taking, that you're choosing, and just enjoy it. Yeah. Also, if you're tuning in right now on Instagram and you have any questions about dance, how to become a better dancer, or anything that's dance related, ask your question and I will answer it live, and you will hear this live on tomorrow's episode on YouTube, Anchor, and Spotify. And if you're listening on Spotify right now, I encourage you to go down into the comments or to hit me up on Instagram and ask a question, ask a dance question, and I will answer it in the following episode. Okay? So if you're listening right now, ask your question. I will answer it in next week's episode. So back to it. Next up on the foundations list, number 5, we have flow. Nope, I lied. We just did flow. What's going on, Melvin? We have rhythm. All right, rhythm. What's a good way, a simple way to describe rhythm? You know that feeling you get when you want to dance and live life to the fullest, but you're paralyzed and you can't bring yourself to move. You can't bring yourself to dance and mingle freely. That feeling of, I must forewarn everyone that I have 2 left feet just to lower the expectations and decrease the chances of complete embarrassment. I know that feeling all too well because that is exactly who I used to be. Then through dance, I learned how to connect mind and body and to decrease that voice in my head that was so concerned about what others thought about me. I learned to increase the positive languages I spoke to myself and change the course of my entire life dramatically. I want to help you overcome that same exact thing. Each week, I'll be holding a live class session where you will learn how to become the most confident version of yourself in dance and in life, while being able to ask any questions you have in a community of others just like yourself. Go down to hasdancecamp.co. That's HASdancecamp.co. I'll drop the link down in the description. I look forward to seeing you and building with you. Now let's get back to the show. I'm going to say it this way. I'm going to compare rhythm to simple musicality. Okay? Now, the key to rhythm or simple musicality is really taking your time to hear the music so you understand the tempo of the music, understand the different beat patterns. Now, I want to encourage you to pick one beat pattern. That way you know when it happens, every time it happens, and just play with that beat pattern. So it might be like a boom, ka, ba-boom, boom, ka, boom, ka, ba-boom, boom, ka. Yeah? Now, the particular time signature for a simple time signature in that rhythm is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Taking that, it's very simple. It's an easy tempo to keep up with no matter what skill level you're at. And then what you can do with that is you can play with grooves. Grooves are simpler movements a lot of times. So maybe you just do a 2-step from left to right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe you do like a step touch. Whatever you do, find that simple time signature within any song that you listen to and groove out to that time signature. And what that's going to do is that's going to build up your knowledge of time signatures, understanding beat patterns and timing, and it's going to make things so much easier when you start getting into more complex rhythms. You get into speed changes, fast, slow, small movements, big movements. And what happens is it starts to click with you. It starts to click and becomes a lot easier to synthesize, and it just becomes second nature. You don't have to think about it so much. Okay, so again, going through those, and y'all, I got a dinner date tonight, so I want to make sure that I don't go over time. So it's going to be a short one today, but we got bounce. These are the 5 foundations I want you to focus on, okay? And if hearing this verbally still doesn't click too much, what I want you to do is head over to my YouTube page. You can search up Melvin AC Howell. Head over to my YouTube page, and I'm actually going to post a video of these 5 foundations so that way you can practice them, okay? And I'm going to teach them at beginner level. No matter what level you're at, you can use these, but I'm going to teach them at beginner level so that way no one is left out, yeah? I got you covered, I promise I got you covered. So again, if just hearing me describe these isn't doing it for you and you want to go even more in depth to have a visual, head over to my YouTube page right after this episode and I will show you how to bounce, rock, groove, flow, and have rhythm. Okay? And then the last thing that I want y'all to focus on, we have 3 best practices. Okay? These are 3 things that you can apply to your training or your practicing to help you on your path. These are building blocks, y'all. Building blocks to help you on your path to becoming a better dancer. Not just a better dancer, but a much better dancer. Y'all, I promise if you practice these things, your foundation is going to be so much stronger than a lot of professional dancers that are out there. So, bet y'all, I know sometimes this stuff seems boring whenever you're practicing it, but when I tell you it works, I'm telling you, this stuff works. These are things, I'm a professional dancer. I travel, choreograph, I'm in music videos, this, that, and the other. But I practice these every single day. And that's what allows me to continuously get better. So when you look at my videos from like years ago, I'm so much better now. In every video I post, I feel like I'm getting better. It's because of these foundational pieces. And because of these 3 best practices that I'm going to give you right now. And again, if you're just tuning in on Instagram, I encourage you, go ahead and ask a question. Do you have dance questions? Do you want to learn how to become more confident with dancing? You want to learn how to become a better dancer? Ask your questions. I will answer them live for you right away. And you'll get to hear them live on this episode of The Movement tomorrow on YouTube, Anchor, and Spotify. Okay? So, here we go. 3 best practices. I'm going to tell you what the 3 best practices are, and then I'm going to break them down a little bit, and then we're going to be out, y'all. I'm not going to take up too much of your time. I appreciate you again tuning in, sticking with me for this long. If you're new to the podcast, if you're on Spotify, or new to the talk show, if you're on YouTube, thank you so much. Please leave a 5-star review. Please leave a review, period. Let me hear what you got to say. Let me know if you want me to cover a particular topic. I'm here for all of you. Yeah, to help you on this journey of life and dance. That's what I'm here for. So, 3 best practices. We have dancing in a square or a box. I'm going to explain it. I know right now it might not make sense. I'm going to explain it. It's going to make a lot more sense. Slow, controlled movements. That one's a little obvious, but I'm going to explain that one too. And then we have analyzing how the music makes you feel. Analyzing how the music makes you feel. And I'm going to work backwards. So let's start with that last one. Analyzing how the music makes you feel. This is really, 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 really crucial. Because a lot of the times what people will do is they'll hear music and immediately they take off. As soon as that song comes on, oh, this is my favorite song, boom, they take off. And what that does, it doesn't give your brain enough time to process the beat patterns. So you're not able to anticipate or understand what's going to happen in the music. You're not able to know, like, okay, I got like 2 8 counts for the intro before there's the build up in the music. And then there's going to be a beat drop. And it's going to be a heavy beat drop, or it's going to be a soft beat drop. Or after that beat drop, it's going to go into this particular snare pattern. Whenever you take your time, you're able to understand better what's happening in the music. When you're able to understand and predict and anticipate what's happening in the music, then you're able to just focus on your movement and matching that movement up, and it allows you to be 1 to 2 steps ahead of what's happening in the music or what movements you decide to do before it even happens. This is really big. So whenever you see like amazing freestylers, that's what it is. They know what's happening in the music. And a lot of times, like, these dancers, this might be their first or second time hearing the song, but they dance to it as if they've heard it thousands of times. It's because they take their time, they hear the music, understand what's happening or about to happen in the music, and then they dance accordingly, allowing what's about to happen in the music to move them. So, analyze the music, and how does the music make you feel? Does it make me feel happy, excited, sad, in love, quixotic, romantic, whatever it is? However the music makes you feel, that's how you want to dance, because what it does is it charges you, it charges your passion, it charges your confidence, which is super important. When you have confidence in your dancing, there's nothing that you can do wrong. You can do the goofiest looking move, but because you're confident about it, that move's gonna look fire. I promise you. You can't lose. And it charges your creativity. Yeah, so by understanding how the music makes you feel and dancing that way, it builds up your creativity, because now you're not thinking about like, what faces should I make with this music, or how hype should I dance to this music. You're just feeling it. When you feel it, the stage presence and the facial expressions happen naturally, and then the creativity comes. Okay? Analyze how the music makes you feel, dance how it makes you feel. Don't just take off as soon as the music goes. Next, slow, controlled movements. So whenever you're practicing, dance slow. I do a lot of practice, a lot of balance work. And so I might dance on one foot and I just take my time. I might dance on both feet, but any movement I do, I move slowly and I move intentionally, being aware of what movements you're doing, how you're doing them, the position of your body, where your weight distribution or your weight transfers are, or where they're happening, makes a huge difference in whether you look like you know how to dance or whether you don't look like you know how to dance. It makes a difference in you dancing dope and being safe, and it makes a difference in you moving too quickly or not being aware of where your footing is, and you injure yourself. It's pretty easy to get injured when you're dancing if you're not moving intentionally. So when you practice slow controlled movements, it builds up it activates different functionalities of muscles in your body, and it becomes more second nature the more you do it. Okay, we got a question. I think we got a question. Let me see what we got here. Labbing. Okay, this one's from Jordan. I appreciate it, bro. So, labbing is a term inside of the street dance community that means freestyling, improving, practicing. So, labbing originates from, maybe you get together with a group of other dancers. Think of like a cipher. It's like a dance circle or a group of dancers, or it could be just like two dancers. It can be one dancer, really. It doesn't matter the amount of dancers. And it's where you go in and you train, or you freestyle, you practice freestyling and improving the movements that you've been training, or the techniques that you've been training. Practicing, okay, here we go. This is going to simplify it, because I get really excited and I get really long-winded. Let me simplify it for you. Labbing is just that. It's a lab. It's where you go to create and you go to experiment. So when you get in the lab, or you hear somebody say, I'm labbing, that means that they are experimenting, they're practicing their creativity and different moves or different combos, different musicality, different styles of movement. So get in the lab, y'all. And what labbing does, it allows you to be vulnerable and let your walls down and practice new things without the insecurities or the worries of other people watching you while you don't have it down pat. Get in the lab is super, super important to make sure you lab. Yeah? And if you didn't know what labbing is, and now you do, and we just giving you all the gems today. Thank you, brother. Thank you, Jordan. I appreciate that. Let's see what else we got. We got stepping out of the comfort zone. Hold up, y'all. Stepping out of the comfort zone to not always listen to the same stuff, do different things. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. I appreciate that. Stepping out of the comfort zone and not listening to the same stuff is also super super important. Whenever you step out of your comfort zone by listening to new music, it builds up your palate for music. Okay, whenever you build up your palate for music, you know that feeling you get when you want to dance and live life to the fullest, but you're paralyzed and you can't bring yourself to move. You can't bring yourself to dance and mingle freely. That feeling of, I must forewarn everyone that I have two left feet just to lower the expectations and decrease the chances of complete embarrassment. I know that feeling all too well because that is exactly who I used to be. Then through dance, I learned how to connect mind and body and to decrease that voice in my head that was so concerned about what others thought about me. I learned to increase the positive languages I spoke to myself and change the course of my entire life dramatically. I want to help you overcome that same exact thing. Each week, I'll be holding a live class session where you will learn how to become the most confident version of yourself in dance and in life, while being able to ask any questions you have in a community of others just like yourself. Go down to hasdancecamp.co. That's hasdancecamp.co. I'll drop the link down in the description. I look forward to seeing you and building with you. Now let's get back to the show. You're able to hear music in a different light. You're able to appreciate different styles, types, and genres of music. And you're able to hear it in a different way, which allows you more creativity. Okay. And it really just allows you to grow into a dancer that you would not have grown into if you stuck with the same music. When you stick with the same music, you dance the same way, and it puts you in a box. Our goal is to break these boxes, break down walls, break down barriers, and become better dancers than even we think we can become. How you do that is by labbing and by listening to and dancing to new music. So if you dance to rap or hip hop or trap music all the time, try dancing to Adele, try dancing to country music, try dancing to dubstep or house or dance music or electronic music. Expand. Dope. That was a great question. All right, y'all, I got to wrap up. I'll take one more. How can you get out of your head like a mental block and you feel like you're doing the same moves over and over? Y'all, this is such a dope question. Who's this one for? Jordan, you coming through with the bangers, bro. I appreciate it, Jordan. All right. Y'all, Jordan's my homie from Morganton. And congratulations on the engagement, my bro. So here's the question again. How can you get out of your head to surpass mental blocks and you feel like you're doing the same moves over and over? The most important thing to get out of your head, it goes back to dancing to new music. When you dance to new music, you don't necessarily have a preconceived notion of how should I move. And that allows the creativity to flow, and it allows you to move in new ways. Okay, whenever I dance to popping music, my mind automatically goes to, I need to be popping right now. And depending on the patterns or my level of creativity that particular day, I know I'm gonna pop, but I might do the same popping moves, same popping angles, or what have you. Y'all, the mosquitoes is coming for me, so I'm gonna wrap up here in a second. But or if I dance to dubstep, I might have a lot of vibrations or a lot of waves in my movements. But if I go to dance to country music, y'all, I don't train to country music often. So I don't have a particular style of dance or movement that I'm going to do to that. Or the same thing with like contemporary music or like slower music. Think like Sam Smith, Stay With Me. Yeah, you're not necessarily going to pop to that. You can, but if you haven't trained popping to that style of music, you're not going to pop to that. You know, you might, the bass style might still be popping, but you're not going to do those same moves. Yeah, You're going to be maybe flowing a little bit more, taking your time. There are going to be more pauses, more breaths inside of your movement. So I say to that, how to get out of your head, get through mental blocks. One, a lot of mental blocks are caused by insecurity from worrying about what other people are going to think, or maybe you're just being hard on yourself. There are times where I've like trained and I'm like, dude, I'm trash today. And that puts me in a mental block, because then I'm forcing it now to not be trash, which makes me even more trash personally. It makes me feel even more trash. So take your time and dance to get off me, bug. Dance to new music. Yeah. And I'll actually come back next week and I'll answer that question again, but with a different answer, because there are so many different ways to overcome mental blocks. One way, and a very strong way, is to dance to new music. Sometimes you just need to improve your musical palette. Okay. And then very quickly, another way is that mental block could be that maybe you need to take a break. A lot of times dance is inspired by life events or how you're feeling. It's inspired by emotion, and you're inspired by emotion. And sometimes you just need to take a break. So don't be hard on yourself. If you feel like you have a mental block, just take 1 or 2 or 3 days, take a week off from dancing hardcore, and then when you come back, there's new inspiration because you've experienced new things, you've seen new things that have inspired you. Yeah. Boom. Oh, thank you. What was that? IYN Joy. I appreciate that. Next time I'm gonna lather myself in Dawn soap to keep the mosquitoes away. Y'all, I'm gonna come up here looking slippery. All right, y'all. Closing out, the last best dance practice is dancing in a square or a box. So this is one that I use the most. Okay? I want you to pretend that, and this is for footwork, right? You can use it for upper body and other movements too, but just as far as movement, because sometimes we keep our feet planted and we dance in the same place. So here's a way that you can level up, is pretend that you're standing inside of a box. Okay? You have your front left corner of the box, your front right corner of the box, your back left and your back right corners of the box. You're standing in the center of that box. We're going to call that 0.5. The center of the box is 0.5. Then you also have 4 sides to that square. Okay? What you can do is what this practice is called one-step variation. You can step 1 foot to each of those points of the box. So whether it's one of the 4 sides, one of the 4 corners, and you can go straight to those sides or corners, or you can come back to the middle with those steps. And it's a very, very, very easy and simple way to level up and practice, and to become better with your intentional movements, and to get better with traveling with your dancing and whatnot. Again, it might feel a little boring, but I promise it can become exciting the more creative you get with your one-step variations. And again, this is another thing that I'll post on that video, that will be on my YouTube page. So if you want to see an example of what one-step variation looks like, I'm going to show you what one-step variation looks like. And then on top of that, I'm going to post a video of a one-step variation combo just for you. That way you can practice it. Yeah. So thank you so much for tuning in. Again, the 5 foundations that I want you to focus on are bounce, rock, groove, flow, and rhythm. And then the 3 best practices that I want you to start incorporating into your everyday life to become a better dancer is dancing in a square, slow controlled movements, and analyzing how the music makes you feel. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of The Movement. I'm so grateful to be alive another day. I'm so grateful to be able to do this with you all and for you all. Thank you for your continued support. Subscribe. Please share this episode. Share the podcast, the talk show. Leave a 5-star review on Spotify, on Anchor, leave comments and things on YouTube. If you have any other questions, I will answer them all for you on next Wednesday's episode of The Movement. Until then, stay blessed. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. I appreciate and love you all. You were created to do things that no one else can do. You were created with a purpose and with beautiful intention. You are a beautiful individual. Do not let anyone strip that from you or tell you otherwise. I'll see y'all next week. Let's go. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of The Movement. Why? Because it's not about the movement, it's about what the move meant. If you like this episode, please do me a huge favor by leaving me a 5-star review. And if you're not already, please go ahead, subscribe to the show, and share it with a friend, because I'm providing this valuable perspective so that you can level up as an aspiring dancer. Again, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you next Wednesday on The Movement.